in the near past we didn't need it due to we were in like NPC now or very close knit. Now it's clear that we gaining numbers and we're trying to be another mega power. So lacking such system would be inefficient and unfair for the members, which alternatively means we can't step on achieve more. But now we've reviewed our previous PAP system. That is not thoroughly enough. So I'm introducing the key performance indicator. It will be a simplified version of what they use in real world cooperation, but um, it's like simpler, you know. The fleet participation will be an important, but not the only indicator anymore. So all these years I've been playing, I've noticed that alliance usually fails from top to bottom. It's usually due to a leadership collapse, or you can say from within. And we rarely see any alliance really dies to like the outsider pressure, but every day one or two entities will burn out due to internal conflicts or mismanagement. So my mistake has always been I was so procrastinated to set up such things. We have roughly 100 corps combined, but in this system, what alliance you're in is not a factor. So from this month, from September, all the corps will be getting a review monthly based on their contribution. It's not just fleet participation, but you will see the first ranking in October. Apparently, those who consistently perform very poorly will get a warning or eventually be merged with the others if their leadership cannot overcome their own problem. So from now on, KPI will be your own evaluation. Is basically like everything I do for you. So my IT team and I will be the only persons who can manage those. So to prevent a depreciation for the KPI, PAC will be 60%. 20% will on your overall PVE progress. We do encourage that, especially mining. The last 20% will be on executive orders, like things like you need to have a clone and you need to have combat ships ready in the stager. And I have ESI to track those down if you don't have. And the percentage of our registering member coverage, I believe we have way more people than this in this member server right now. But some of them did not register yet, so that's a thing for them to do. And depends on how thoroughly I have the ESI data from you. Excuse me, anything?
I can hear you.
Okay, so the corps will be able to pick moons based on their performance. Now, that's a whole new stuff for us. We can't bring it to the same level instantly to what goons or tasks can do, because they have been here and done this for years. But if we don't want to simply be a mindless follower, merge into them rather to work on our own, it will be unnecessary and painful, but a rewarding process. So setting up our own assessment system, the KPI. I will bring more details to the corp leadership later to tell you the exact evaluation, how that's been done, how that's been recorded, and you will all have the FC will have PAP ability more like this, and we will have the IT team to help you with your ESI. So that's the first thing. The second thing would be, let me check, would be the FC team. So it's weird we have two distinguished FC teams, because, well, the language and time zone barriers are true. But the principle is to have a constant flow of people who like willing to contribute or have the potential or passion to do things. Now I understand it will be slightly different managed between the Chinese FC and the others because realistically you don't have the same fleet to run. It's not like so far we don't have 100 fleets to speak of during EU or EU's time zone. So our current FCA structures for the non-Chinese corps can still function for a long while. We will certainly review it once the situation improves. But I suggest every FC and line members, if you want to be part of the team, you can let them know. And if you're FC, you should be noticing like the potential individuals to bring them into the team. Once we are there, once we have enough number, I will have every corp to like to recommend or suggest one or two persons into the team as a like a skirmish FC. You can pin fleets anytime in Discord, and your PAP will be half of the value as the CTAs, and you will have a chance to promote. Every like 1 or 2 months, you will be reviewed for your performance, and if you can be promoted to Strat Up FC, and be ready to write AARs. I know that's well, it's actually a useful thing um, if we bring constructive ideas to your AAR, it will be actually effective. All right, that's so much for FC, and we've been through the corporate API KPIs, and next thing we right the market rules. From now on, the highest markup will be 150% of 7-day GSL average on the market. That's on our market, and you can do 20. It can do 200% for contracts because you put the effort to assemble them and like do all the holding shit, you know. But you can't put up doctrine ships like contract that are not actually doctrine fit. That will essentially be a scam. You have to notify people, like, um, I have downgraded this module because skill wise you can't fit them because the feeding is tight or things like that. You have to note for your consumers. And absolutely no relisting. I hope I don't have to explain what is relist. And the only okay, and only alliance holding corps can have market service. I've ordered the market in 77SA to either shut down or transfer the fort to me. Like that place has been a very controversial, annoying part of our economy because the market guy there, like, he's a pretty established people. He has been playing for a long time and has a huge capital. But he told me frankly that without his overpriced stuff, a lot of us will have nothing to buy in Nausec because no one is seeding the market. I hope someone can prove them wrong and actually see the QRFJ market uh, and the RU and the Lord constellation. You can either do in 620. I'm not sure if it's safe under the test pressure, but you can do in another Fortizar. I've gave the Fortizar to Blade of Grass, so you can decide for your own. Oh, the broker fee is 3%, and that's what the holding. That's what I take. The sell tax has nothing to do with me. It's a CCP mechanics. I can't check that. I'm sorry. Oh, that's for the market rule. So we've been on the same page. So we've been clear what you can do, what you can like, what you cannot do, and what I encourage you to do. Now we can move on. For the taxing, taxing is 5% of your total core PVE income. I can achieve those through the ESI submit. I'm not taxing the locals like I do to the Chinese ones because you don't get the perfect protection like they do, you know? But all the tax should go to the tax manager. And AZ, you have a list, you have a roster, right? Can you please share it to us so people know what are the paper pushers in this coalition? That's only coalition level. Your individual lines may have your own, but that's what you have to deal in if you're a coalition. Oh, sorry, if you have a leadership of your alliance, you have to deal with them. The tax manager would guide you through how to pay and who to pay and such. Excuse me, I have a visitor. Hold on.
I'm sorry?
I have a wizard now. All right. And the last thing would be mining rules. I put up in a for English translation later. I don't want to go through all this lines, wasting your time, but okay, I'm gonna do the TLDR would be you have to start with one piece of ochre. Then you are free to mine everything else except Genesis. Once all the ochres are done, you're free to finish off the Genesis. So basically, starting from the lowest value of war, but also I've taken into consider of the time zone issue because we have way more locals in the China time zone, and if I didn't set up rules like this, make some new ones, it will be pretty unfair for you guys and unhealthy overall for the economy. Oh, it only applies to the colossal, enormous and large belts. If you are those one of snowflakes who love medium and small belts, you're free. You're free on your own to buy anything you like. We will have public moons, and I will link you the calendar. We have about 120 moons that are being centralized to holding as we speak, and there will be available things starting from October. The ores will be free for all to mine, and you will have the exact calendars of when they're available. Yeah, I guess pretty much of this. Unless anyone have any question. Is anybody recording this? Oh, please tell me you did.
There's no
Do you
I'm
want
notification
videotaping.
when recording.
Okay, nice, thank you.
So I'm videotaping. Is that good or bad?
That's a good thing because we have a lot of person who can attend. So if you're willing to update it into YouTube or share it somehow, I'd appreciate it.
I was
If you
trying to
want to
make a
start
joke.
over.
I was trying to make a
Of
joke.
course,
Sorry.
not to Reddit. Thank you. Any question?
Yeah, I'm the CEO of Lord. This is the first I'm hearing a lot of these details.
Okay, welcome. What can I do for you?
So there's a coalition tax.
No, this is the alliance tax. That doesn't apply to you.
Okay, so some of that
Yeah.
was for Fret only.
That's for Fred only. That's right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I tend to start the reforming. That's long due from the Afghan War. That's when we starting from a NBC NowSec pirates to like the self-holding people. That's when we start to tax people, and I've been using the wars to postpone such reform to a point that I can't ignore that anymore. So I have to do this unless we will die from the inside. Like
Right.
before task put any pressure on us, we will collapse if we don't do this. Yep. Anything else? All right. AZ, do you have anything to ask me?
I just asked in Discord. I don't know if you went over that. I was AFK for a second.
I did go over the command structures,
Okay, cool.
but hold on. If that's not clear, so we have a coalition military point of contact. That's an AZ, or if you know Evil Triumvirate, he's an Australian, but he's a Chinese. And we have like inner coordination that is singling ice only. So if your alliance have a problem with the other alliance, you go for thinning. He's the only person, and I are two persons who can judge those things. If you have a problem with IT, I know Blade of Grass is doing. It's responsible for part of our ITs. But if you need other help, I can probably link it somewhere. Hold on. I just link it to the Discord, and you can share it I can share it with your alliance mate. I hope that's been clear enough. If you have anything that is not, feel free to ask me. And yes, you also have SRP. I don't know, like I have a corp asking me about SRP a few days ago, and I was like, "What? You haven't applied for them all this time?" So for any roaming fleet that FC have pinned through this Discord, you get an SRP, let alone the CTAs and strat ops, of course. All right, I think no one has more questions.
Sorry, quickest from me. Basil, one of the execs of Blades of Grass, just noticed that we've got French connection moving in next to us.
Yes.
Are they going to be bluing us all up?
They're kind of like a blue troll, if you know.
Right.
So if you like contact, I've gave you the contact person in the coronation channel. So if you ask him about the standing, you should probably set each other to +4 or something.
Right. Okay.
It's up to you, but I would suggest a +4.
Low enough that we don't shoot each other, but we're not going to be sharing.
That's right. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly the point. We can, we can maybe, like, take them into us, but they have to go through a review point, like a trial process.
Are they going to be sharing our intel channels?
Yeah, they're supposed to the Winter Intel West. So I'm getting one that can manage this channels, because the owner of the channel is actually my CEO char. Was my CEO char, so I have to get it somehow. Talking about CCTV customer service.
Do you want to just make a blind one, Norris?
Excuse
Of
me.
all the- Oh, do you want